Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to week 14 of the semester. And I hope that you are keeping yourself well, at the same time, keeping yourself safe and keeping up with all the syllabus that is aligned for CIN708 for semester 2, 2021. So in this week's class, we will be doing few things, okay? First of all, we will be going over some revision questions. Okay, now the coverage will be all the way from lecture 6 to lecture 10. So I will be calling out some revision questions on all these sets of lecture notes. So we'll see where we can reach within 1.5 hours to 1 hour 45 minutes time frame. Now, please also note the tutorial class for this week has been cancelled so that students can spend their time to attend all the lecture-based quizzes. Now, if you're one of those who are still left to attempt few of the lecture-based quizzes, I've dropped you reminders on your Moodle platforms, Moodle chat platforms. So please do go over and try to attempt all your revision questions. Now, also note that for your tutorial, for your lecture-based classes, rather your lecture-based quizzes, pardon me for that, and all your lecture-based quizzes, they carry 15% towards your coursework. So you need to amp up your work a little bit so that you are able to finish it by the deadline, which is on the 31st of October, 11:59 p.m. Now, 31st of October is 4 days from now. Okay, Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Now, here's the thing, there's no extension with the lecture-based quizzes. Once you miss, it's a miss. Why? Because all our lecture had been completed by week 12. So you were given whole of last week, and also you're given this week, your tutorial classes, to actually go and attempt your lecture-based quizzes. All right, so that's on lecture-based quizzes. Now, also note that the research project, which carries 15% towards your coursework, it is a combination of research work, 10% and 5% for your presentation, is also due on the 31st of October, 11:59 p.m. Therefore, try to work hard for the remaining of the next 4 days so that you are able to finish up with your research project as well as your lecture-based quizzes by Sunday, 1 minute less to midnight. All right. So that's all that I have in terms of reminders. Now, should there be any questions or queries in regards to any of the assessments, in regards to your marks, feel free to drop me an email, okay? Probably a decent email, okay? Feel free to send me an email. When I say decent email, and why I'm saying is, now some of you, when you send in emails, you tend to be too aggressive. Please don't do that. Okay, try your best to be as decent as possible when you're sending emails, so that I would also reply to you, and then I will also go around looking at the issues that you're actually facing. Okay, so please, feel free to drop me an email should there be any questions or any queries. Now, also, if you look at the entire assessment criteria table, so 15% here towards lecture-based quiz. Now, mostly I have seen the maximum mark that some of the students have attained is about 14.5, which is a very good mark so far. I don't know if there's anyone who has marks greater than 14.5. If you have it, congratulations, you've been doing well. Now, critic writing, all the critic writing has been successfully marked, and the marks, you should be able to access it from your gradebook. Your mid-semester exam, okay, your mid-semester exam also had been fully marked, and the attained marks have been released on the Moodle gradebook. It has been there for the past 6 or 7 weeks already. Now, your research project and presentation marks, it's due on the 31st of October. So therefore, the marks will be coming in by next week, Friday, 4 p.m. Okay. So without further delays, let's go and work on your revision questions. So what I will suggest for you to write down the questions, I will be dictating them to you, and then I will expect you to write it down. I won't be providing you the question in form of a Word document. Remember, this is a lecture class, okay? You need to work a bit hard to get things done, okay? So those of you attending the classes, thank you for taking out your time. Those of you viewing the video a bit later, I also like to thank you for taking out your time to keep up with all your work. So lectures 1 to 5, we had already gone over the revision questions while we were preparing ourselves for the mid-semester exam. So I will continue from lecture 6 to lecture 10, whereby you will have to write down these questions and then later onwards find out the answers for these questions. And then if you would like to, you can divide yourself up into groups and then try to answer the question, or you can do it individually. Totally up to you, as long as you get things done. Now, if you look at lecture 6 was basically on data information and databases. And these are some of the questions that you will need to list down. So question number 1. Please write it down. I'll be dictating it and you have to write it down. Question number 1. Differentiate between transactional and analytical information. Differentiate between transactional and analytical information. Question number 2. List and explain the 4 primary traits of the value of information. List and explain the 4 primary traits, TRAITS, primary traits of the value of information. Question number 2, list and explain the 4 primary traits of the value of information. Question number 3, differentiate between real-time information. Differentiate between real-time information and real-time system. Differentiate between real-time information and real-time system. Question number 4. Explain the relationship between information quality. Explain the relationship between information quality and business decisions. Explain the relationship between information quality and business decisions. Question number 5. List the characteristics of list the characteristics of high quality information. List the characteristics of high quality information. Full stop. Question number 6. List down at least 4 primary sources of. List down at least 4 primary sources of low quality information. List down at least 4 primary sources of low quality information. Question number 7. What are some potential business effects? What are some potential business effects resulting from low quality information? Potential business effects resulting from low quality information. Question number 8. Define data validation. Question number 8. Define data validation. Question number 9. Define database. Define database. And database management systems. Define database and database management systems. Question number 10. Define the following, colon. Question number 10. Define the following, colon. Okay, next line. Your first term is data model. Next term, data dictionary. Next, entity. Entity, E-N-T-I-T-Y, entity. Next term, attribute. And the final term from there is record. So define the following terms, colon. You have data model, data dictionary, entity, attribute, and record. Question number 11. Differentiate between a primary key and a foreign key. Differentiate between a primary key and a foreign key. Differentiate between a primary key and a foreign key. Question number 12. List down some advantages. List down some advantages of using a database from a business perspective. List down some advantages of using a database from a business perspective. Using a database from a business perspective. Question number 13. Differentiate between the following. Differentiate between the following, colon. One, scalability. Scalability. S-C-A-L-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y. Scalability. Two, performance. Two, performance. Three, information redundancy. Information redundancy. Redundancy, R-E-D-U-N-D-A-N-C-Y. Redundancy. Four, information integrity. Information integrity, I-N-T-E-G-R-I-T-Y. Information integrity. Fifth term from there is integrity constraint. Integrity constraint. So integrity, I-N-T-E-G-R-I-T-Y, constraint, C-O-N-S-T-R-A-I-N-T, constraint. Question number 14. A database may offer several security features. A database may offer several security features. Colon, semicolon rather, give a semicolon, password, comma, access level, ACCESS, access level, comma, and access control. Full stop. Define these security features. Define these security features. Question number 15. Explain data-driven websites. Explain data-driven websites. Question number 16. List some advantages of data-driven websites. List some advantages of data-driven websites. Question number 17. Explain data warehouse. Number 17. Explain data warehouse. Question number 18. List down some difficulties. List down some difficulties faced by a business with inadequate data usefulness. With inadequate data usefulness. Question number 19. What are some difficulties faced by a business? What are some difficulties faced by a business with ineffective data access? Difficulties faced by a business with ineffective data access. Question number 20. Differentiate between data mart and data warehouse. Question number 20. Differentiate between data mart and data warehouse. Question number 21. Explain the process of data cleansing or scrubbing. Explain the process of data cleansing or data scrubbing. Question number 22. What are some problems faced? What are some problems faced with dirty data? What are some problems faced with dirty data? Dirty, D-I-R-T-Y, dirty data. Now, dirty data means erroneous, or that means data that has some form of errors or flawed data. Okay, so what are some of the problems with dirty data? Question number 23. What are some fixes applied? What are some fixes? F-I-X-E-S. What are some fixes applied in data cleansing? Cleansing, C-L-E-A-N-S-I-N-G, cleansing. What are some fixes applied in data cleansing? Question number 24. Define business intelligence. Question number 24. Define business intelligence. Question number 25. Explain big data. Explain big data. Question number 26. Differentiate between distributed computing. Differentiate between distributed computing and virtualization. Differentiate between distributed computing and virtualization. Question number 27. Define data mining. Define data mining. Question number 28. What is data virtualization? What is data virtualization? Data virtualization, visual, IZATION, virtualization. Question number 29. Explain business intelligence dashboards. Explain business intelligence dashboard. And that finishes up your revision questions for lecture 6. Okay, let's take a break for 5 minutes so that you can sum up your work. See if you have any questions or any queries, feel free to ask. It's 2:35 at the moment, 2:36. Let's take a break till 2:40, and then we'll continue with lecture 7 revision questions. So take 5, everyone. Okay, in 1 minute time, we will start calling out the questions or recording the questions for lecture 7. So get yourself ready. Okay, question number 1. Differentiate between LAN, 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 comma, MAN, MAN, comma, WAN, WAN. So differentiate between LAN, MAN, and WAN. Full stop. Now, just a side note, LAN stands for local area network, MAN stands for metropolitan area network, and WAN stands for wide area network. So you are to differentiate between these 3 types of networks. Question number 2. Define bandwidth. Define bandwidth. Question number 3. Define TCP protocol. Define TCP/IP protocol. Define TCP/IP protocol. Question number 4. What are domain name systems? What are domain name systems? Question number 5. Define network convergence. Define network convergence. Spelling of convergence, CONVERGENCE. Network convergence. Question number 6. Differentiate between the following, colon. Differentiate between the following, colon. Peer-to-peer network, comma, peer-to-peer network, PER to PER, peer-to-peer network, comma, VoIP, VoIP, in other words, voice over internet protocol, VoIP, comma, internet protocol TV. Differentiate between the following, peer-to-peer, comma, VoIP, comma, internet protocol TV. Question number 7. List down some advantages of using networks in a business. List down some advantages of using networks in businesses. Question number 8. Explain intranet, INTRANET, explain intranet, comma, extranet, extranet, and virtual private network. Full stop. So intranet, extranet, and virtual private network. Differentiate, question number 9, differentiate between SSL certificates, differentiate between SSL certificates and HTTPS. Differentiate between SSL certificates and HTTPS. Question number 10. Explain digital divide. Question number 10. Explain digital divide. Question number 11. Differentiate between wireless LAN and Wi-Fi. Differentiate between wireless LAN and Wi-Fi. Differentiate between wireless LAN and Wi-Fi. Explain number 12, question number 12, explain satellite communication. Explain satellite communication. Question number 13. Differentiate between, question number 13, differentiate between RFID, comma, GPS, and GIS. Full stop. So differentiate between RFID, GPS, and GIS. Number 14. Define location-based services. Define location-based services and give at least, not give, but write down and state at least 3 examples of LBS. LBS is location-based services. So the question for question number 14 is define location-based services and state at least 3 examples of LBS. Last question for lecture 7. What are some challenges? What are some challenges associated with business mobility? What are some challenges associated with business mobility? Okay, so that concludes the 15 questions for lecture 8, sorry, lecture 7 rather. And let's begin with lecture 8. Question number 1. Explain the following types of integrations. Explain the following types of integration. Integration, integration. Explain the following types of integration. First one, application integration. Application integration. Second one, data integration. Data integration. Third, forward integration. And the last one is backward integration. So explain these 4 types of integrations: application integration, data integration, forward integration, and backward integration. Question number 2, define middleware. Define middleware. M-I-D-D-L-E-W-A-R-E, middleware. Question number 3, list and explain the 3 types of enterprise systems. List and explain the 3 primary types of enterprise systems. 3 primary types of enterprise systems. Question number 4. What are some advantages of using a supply chain management? Question number 4. What are some advantages of using supply chain management? Question number 5. What are some technologies? What are some technologies that could be utilized What are some technologies that could be utilized with customer relationship management? Question number 6. Differentiate between reporting, comma, analyzing, and predicting technologies. Differentiate between reporting, analyzing, and predicting technologies. Question number 7. The customer is always right. Write down these in quotes with open and close inverted commas. The customer is always right. Full stop. Justify this statement. Justify this statement. Question number 8. Define sales force automation. Define sales force, FORCE, automation. Question number 9. Explain website personalization. Explain website personalization. Question number 10. Define partner relationship management. Define partner relationship management. Question number 11. Define employee relationship management. Define employee relationship management. Question number 12. Explain enterprise resource planning, or ERP. Explain enterprise resource planning. Question number 13. Give reasons why ERP systems are deemed, DEEMED, are deemed as powerful tools. Give reasons why ERP systems are deemed as powerful tools. Question number 14. List down at least 5 benefits of ERP. List down at least 5 benefits of ERP. Question number 15. Differentiate between on-premise systems, on-premise, on-premise, on-premise systems, comma, legacy systems, legacy, legacy systems, and cloud-based systems. Differentiate between on-premise systems, legacy systems, and cloud-based systems. Question number 16. List down some advantages. Question number 16. List down some advantages of using cloud computing, for ERP implementation. Cloud computing for ERP implementation. Last question for lecture 8. What is a hybrid ERP? Last question for lecture 8, question number 17. What is a hybrid ERP? Okay, so that finishes up the questions for lecture 6, 7, and 8. So lecture 6, we had a total of about 29 questions. Lecture 7, 15 questions, and lecture 8, 17. So in total, you had a total of 61 questions. Okay, so this is what I will do is I leave you here for today's class so that you would actually go and try to attempt and try answering these questions, or you may go and attempt your lecture-based quizzes, or you may go and start compiling your final research work and your presentation work to meet the deadline for Sunday, 31st October, 11:59 p.m. Now, we do not have a tutorial class this week. It has been allocated for you to attempt your lecture-based quizzes. Okay, so please try to get sorted with the lecture-based quizzes and your research project ASAP. In next week's lecture class, we will continue with the revision questions for lecture 9 and lecture 10. And also, I will give you a layout of your final exam. Okay, your final exam is scheduled to be hosted as an online exam. So in next week's class, I will give you the layout and some more tips on your final exams apart from these normal revision questions that I'm giving. So the revision questions that you are given in, as soon as you're done with your assessments and everything, please try your best to answer these questions. These would be very handy for your final examinations. Okay, so try your best to get this sorted. Firstly, lecture-based quizzes, your research project, and your revision questions. Now, the types of revision questions that I'm giving is I am basically covering up your entire set of lecture notes. That means if you would study the revision questions only, there's a likely chance you may get a total of about 70 or more from the revision questions itself. Okay, and the rest of it is going to be application type of questions, like we have for our case studies, like you had for your critique writing, like you are having for your research project. Okay, those kind of questions will also be applicable and tested in your final assessment. So try your best to give in your 100% for the remainder of the weeks that are remaining. Week 14, this is week 14 by the way. Week 15 is next week, the last week of the semester. Week 16 is your study break. Week 17, you have final exams. So you have 3 more weeks to work hard, and after that you can relax and chillax. Okay, so this is where I will leave you for today. Thank you so much for joining in and giving in your time, and all the very best for your assessments rather. Till then, take care, stay safe everyone. See you in next week's lecture class. If you have any questions or any queries, feel free to drop me an email or a message on Moodle. Thank you. Goodbye.